Look at the flat spot.
I want you guys watching this video to go back and watch J. Cole's video. He tells you exactly. I actually got an email this morning. Here, let me show you. Let me show you the email about the same exact situation. 1.5 liter Ecoboost. Customer goes in to get it checked out because it's having drivability issues. And I had one here just a couple months ago when I was taking a break from work. A guy showed up and said, "Hey, would you like to do a side job?" And I said, "I'll do a side job. Why not?" And he says, "Hey, the customer or the shop, the dealer, seen I had some low fuel pressure codes in the computer, and they said it was the high pressure pump. So they took this high pressure pump off of the engine and then took the little bucket out of it and then put a new bucket in and a new high pressure pump in it, and said I wasn't changing my oil enough, and it wore through the bucket and the end of the fuel pressure, the high pressure fuel pump. So they put a new bucket and high pressure fuel pump in it, but I'm getting those same low pressure codes again, and I don't want to go back to the dealer because I don't trust the fact they fixed it the first time, but now all of a sudden it's acting up again. And then it never really, even after they fixed it, never had the complete power that it had before. I can tell you why. Because that camshaft lobe is wore out, and that camshaft lobe has to be replaced now. And if you get metal in general inside an engine, you're on borrowed time. That metal's going to end up in the bearings. It's going to end up all over the place. You may as well put an engine in it at that point. And I told the guy that. I said, I could fix this. I could put another pump in it and a bucket and get you by another month or two. That camshaft is going to wear through that bucket all over again. It's going to wear into that high pressure pump. Really, the right thing for me to do if you want it to last longer is tear this engine down, clean it out, and put a new camshaft in it. Or get you the new updated short block and do a whole new engine for $7,000-8,000 at one shot. And at not my cost, maybe me making a little bit of money, but not going full bore shop rate. The guy was like, "Oh, I can't afford that, man. This thing's got 135,000 miles on it." Well, this is what you get for not changing your oil. This is what you get for trying to go 7,000, 10,000 miles on your oil. This is the type of shit that happens that people argue with us about. And then when we show you guys the damage that can be done, look at the video from a couple years ago on my YouTube channel. Same name, Ford Boss Me. On the 18,000 mile Ford Fusion. 18,000 miles. She hadn't had it in for her fourth oil change yet. And it was already acting. Sorry, notifications going off on my phone. She hadn't even had it in yet for her fourth oil change, and it already had coolant intrusion. And when I pulled the pistons out of it, completely carboned up. The ring lands all carboned up. The sides of the pistons all carboned up. It was a 2019 or 2018 with 18,000 miles on it, and the engine was already shit. These engines cannot take, like these boosted, supercharged, loose tolerance GDI engines cannot take 10,000 miles safely to keep them on the road. Let's just say for specific manufacturers. Even look at the BMWs and stuff like that people claim, "Oh, I go 10,000 miles all the time." But when I pull your valve covers off at the shop, because BMWs, bring my wallet, like to leak out of every fucking seal and crevice that it can possibly leak out of. When you pull everything apart to reseal it all back up, it looks like a sludge mine inside the engine. But the customer's like, "Oh, well, BMW says you can do it every 10,000 miles. Bullshit. Here's the message from yesterday. This dude from South Texas. I just recently bought a used 2018 Ford Escape 1.5 liter. Just a few weeks after I got it, it died. After a lot of diagnostic labor hours and tune-ups, they are telling me it's a hole in the high-pressure fuel pump bucket has damaged the camshaft and potentially sent metal anywhere. I saw your video on this, and I actually think the mechanic did too. He won't fix it for fear of liability or relapse. Do you think I should tow it elsewhere and have them replace the bucket and the camshaft, or does it really need a whole new engine? Your shop's not by chance in South Texas, is it? No, it's not. It's in Illinois. And yes, once that happens, that metal gets sent everywhere. They're not steering you wrong. Yes, the camshaft does have to be replaced. You're going to have to pull timing components off. With the new camshaft, it's going to have to get rebucketed for each one of the valves. So the timing and everything, or the valve clearance, is going to have to be redone. And while you're in there, you may as well go ahead and clean and refresh everything. So at that point, you can get a short block for like next to nothing. You can even get an independent shop to do short block on it. But in general, the dealer's pretty efficient at that, and they give you a pretty good price overall on just getting the short block update and having the engine rebuilt. You can't, at that point, you're done. Change your oil. People, change your oil. And stop thinking that everybody's lying to you. And yes, a lot of dealerships, a lot of independent shops have watched my videos on the high pressure fuel pump, on the issues that I've had with these vehicles, low quality fuel, coolant intrusion, the high pressure fuel pump issues, not changing their oil enough. A lot of people all over the world have learned a lot from me on these videos, talking about maintenance and their nuances of how they fail. Change your oil. I don't know how many times I can freaking say this. I don't care what kind of oil you use, whatever it is, put a decent filter on it, at least OE or above. OE is the safest. OE or above, and put a good quality oil in it, and change the damn oil by every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. 3,000 miles if you do a lot of in-town driving, 4,000 miles if it's a little bit of a mixture in-town and highway, and 5,000 miles if you're on the highway every single day. Change your oil. A lot of these problems would stop if people would just freaking change the oil. Be blessed. Have a great day.